Well, good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing? Good evening, Diane. Good evening, Jane. Good evening, Linda.
Good evening.
How are you all doing?
Hot.
Yeah.
Hot? Yeah.
Sunburn.
All right. That kind of hot. Right, okay.
No, she's hot from TikTok. Have you seen her on there?
Hot from sunshine. Yeah. It's been pretty warm here in the UK, hasn't it? And it's been pretty thunderstorms as well. But But anyway,
it's been stunning.
Yeah, Linda, how's it doing over there in is it Minnesota?
Yeah, right next to Wisconsin.
That's right. Yeah,
it's getting cooler. The nights are getting cooler and louder. Yeah. But,
Yep.
So the winter will be here tomorrow, so we better be prepared. That's how it is around here.
Yeah. So it's sunny up there in Cheshire. How's it doing in the West Midlands, Diane?
It's the same. It's warm. It's been hot. I've stayed inside because, like Jane, I would just look at the sun and get shriveled and burnt.
Yeah.
Not saying shriveled. I mean, I would shrivel.
Oh, I am.
Yeah. I only have to look at it and I just turn bright red.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm well and truly being in the shade.
And in Australia, it's cold, isn't it?
It's winter time there. Yeah. Winter time. Yeah.
Winter.
Yeah, it is indeed. Yeah.
Even though their winter's not really winter, not to us.
Do they get snow there? I don't know.
No.
Do you guys get snow?
Yeah, we do.
We do.
Yeah.
Not very often anymore, though.
No.
And if we do, we get like a mega storm, don't we? And everyone shuts down in panic.
Yeah.
A centimetre of snow.
Indeed, yes. Yeah, it does tend to be a bit like that.
You can take all of ours in the Midwest. You can have all that snow. We don't want it.
Oh, gosh. As long as I can hibernate inside, it's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't like that either.
That was one of the last things that the dude kept going on about was the fact that he was going to go to Wisconsin, and I'm saying to him, look, you don't need to worry about any of the law enforcement people there. You've been to Manitowoc twice before. You're not going to have a problem. Please make sure you do not get just a basic sort of front wheel, drive car. Get a proper vehicle you'll be able to pull out, like if there's a bit of snow, a bit of ice, and he did assure me that he was going to do that. But anyway,
they sell 4-wheel drives. I know in Florida, if you order a 4-wheel drive, you have to order it because they don't sell them. They don't use them there. So maybe they don't.
No need to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, we're here to pay tribute to. I would say. I'll kick off by saying I am, in a way, I'm not surprised, but I am still completely overwhelmed by the fantastic tributes from everybody. For me, it just speaks volumes about the community that we've got here. That everybody is sending all these. I mean, my phone is like it's just like burning out with all the messages that I'm getting. And we'll go through some of them. Thoughts, ladies, on how you're feeling. What was it now? Coming up for 2 weeks. We'll go clockwise, Diane. Oh, sorry. We'll go anti-clockwise. We'll go anti-clockwise, Jane. Yeah.
Sorry, I've got a big.
No, you're okay.
No, I was just gonna say, like, most days are difficult, but when weekends for me, because that's really when he used to do lives, and I used to be able to be involved in the live chats, because usually if he did them during the week, we'd miss because of the time difference. And for me, weekends are really, like, the last couple of weekends, it's just like I feel like there's something missing.
Yeah, there is.
Just a huge hole, and I think about him every day, every single day. And like you, but what gives me comfort is the massive outpouring of comfort, of tributes coming in, because they've just been amazing. And like Paul said, I'm not surprised, because he was very well loved and everybody adored him and everyone loved watching him. And it doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
Yeah. I must admit, it was one of those things where I knew I could expect abuse from about 3 o'clock onwards because I would have posted stuff during the daytime, during the morning and early afternoon, and then he would catch up with what I posted about him, and that's when the sparks would fly, because he would then retaliate, obviously, because he was just a big friendly Sasquatch at the end of the day. He was. That's what he was.
Very infectious.
Look,
that's what I miss, is his laugh. I mean, it's like Jinxie's. It's contagious. You just want to laugh with it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I must admit, ladies, I never knew that it was like a nervous. I never accepted when he said that he used to get nervous before doing any kind of video. I used to say, "Why you're a big American lump, just get on with it." It was like, what the hell are you on about? But apparently that he was like that, and it's funny that there are sides of him that I never knew that are now coming out, that I'm hearing about. And I'm it's incredulous, But anyway, you're absolutely right. The sort of the weekends was definitely the time to catch him for live, and unfortunately our Sunshine Ouija is unable to join us at the moment, because I know that he was definitely enjoying getting stuck into Scottish independence. Although I used to do everything I could to present the other argument, as it were. But it was more from a sort of devil's advocate point of view, because as I said to him, dude, why are you preaching to me? I voted for independence. I'm just giving you the other side. So we were going around. Diane, how is it? How are you feeling? Nearly 14 days on.
Yeah, I'm pretty much feeling the same. I think it's one of those, it comes and goes, doesn't it? Because a lot of the time I would miss his things because of working, like all through the week, even on the weekends. But I would always see his notifications popping up on my phone.
Yeah.
And I follow a lot of the groups. So I'll have Discord chats popping up all the time, but sometimes I don't get to read them. And every so often I'll just see a message. And I saw one, I can't remember who said it now, but somebody said just how quiet it was without him. And that it was just eerily quiet without him. And I was just like, it really is, isn't it? It's just what I think we're just in a lull at the moment. There's a lot going on, but there's just everyone's just in a kind of a we still can't believe it. Kind of a numbness.
It's absolutely. It's I mean that it's not often that a tear comes to this person's eye, but there are times when a certain piece of music or a certain particularly now when I hear clips of him speaking, it just it still gets me. I suppose I'm very fortunate in the fact that I did get to tell him on more than one occasion, both private chats and live. I came across one message. By the way, you're awesome. And it was just a case of telling him, what you're doing is so good. Just keep going, doing what you're doing. But anyway, Linda, I do admire your picture behind you. And have you got lovely. A mug you would like to show us?
Yeah, the picture is done by Lo Barb. She's in the chat, and there and his other date. She's really done some nice things. And then I have this mug that I got from Basil, and it says on the back, Erekose making a murderer, warrior of justice and truth. And I love my cups, but I don't like the way I get them.
Yeah.
So I mean, I got Denise and then the Mamathon. So, you know, then we're like, just.
Yeah. It's that. Yeah. I know what you mean. And is it tea, coffee in the mug, or is it something a little bit stronger? Well, because I must admit, I
gotta tell you, it's a little bit of the juice. I got it mixed with this, but I got that cake. I tell you what, that cake is something else.
Oh my God, I'm the only boring one. I've got my cup of tea.
Usually it would be tea.
Oh.
Who invited Diane? Let's kick her out now.
I'll just leave, shall I?
We're not going to have much of a party with that.
Oh.
Let's see who we've got on the chat, because we've got loads of people that have tuned in, and let's just go through Jazz and Fen. Hi Fen. What's Fen saying? I can't. Yeah. I do apologise that 9 o'clock UK time is like 3 o'clock Central Time, which is like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Who we've got Bean Green. Lucy Lockwood.
She hasn't been around since Hangouts. Lucy was a #1 Stacy fan. She hasn't been around forever. It's nice to see you, Lucy. It's very nice.
Welcome back, Lucy.
Yeah. Foul play. Yeah, fantastic.
They did a wonderful recording. Foul plays.
I've been away for a few days, and the tribute. You're probably going to mention it, Paul, but the tribute, just because of what you were saying a few minutes ago, the tribute from Foul Play came up, and I just sat on my caravan steps watching it, and I was just the tears were just streaming.
It's a really beautiful one.
It's absolutely, the pictures that were put, it was just all done so beautifully, and Stacey's song, his Barnes, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I was going to say, everything is fantastic. Probably the first person to do a tribute video though was Richard Boyd, and I thought,
I know
it was that brought a tear to my eye when I saw those pipers. And the one doing the AC/DC Thunderstruck with the flame coming out, because when we went to Australia, both shows, Steve and Laura, and David Rudolph as well, and I don't know if you've heard some of his latest podcast stuff. Absolutely fantastic stuff from David Rudolph. But they always use Thunderstruck to come out to, and then the Amazing Grace Piper at the end,
Stunning.
Yeah.
I mean, you've always said, Paul, that Richard's very tongue in cheek, and then sometimes when I watch him,
you got to know how to
his videos, and you've got to know how to take him. But when I saw his tribute video, my respect for him went up tenfold. Yeah. Because it really did. It was,
Well, that's the important thing, isn't it? Like, that's one of the things that you've noticed with all the tributes that are coming in. Even if there was like disagreements or whatever, people have come up and said, we might not have seen eye to eye, but we definitely saw, like, Heart to Heart is one of the ones that I read. That
Richard used to yell just because he wanted to grab his attention. That was it. And you got to know how to take. I think me and Paul really kind of understand Richard Boyd and where he comes from. He does really mean no harm. And if you look at the channel, he's changed it. He's taken down all them rotten videos. He's making good videos. He's doing some real good research and putting it out now. I don't know about the new stuff. I've seen 2 or 3 that were okay. I don't know what he's doing. I've been too busy.
It was funny because it was Ali Apperson, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, that dude, she's got her finger on the pulse, because she was telling me 2 years ago, Richard Boyd, it's all tongue in cheek. It's all to do with, this idea of doing some sort of screenplay and, different characters. And what he's done is he's carved his own little niche, and it's great. The other thing that Ali has always gone on about is, this convicting a murderer. The dude was so excited about being interviewed at Manitowoc because he knew once Making a Murderer came out, that the people that were interviewing him were not the ones that interviewed Mark. Therefore, it must have been Convicting a Murderer. And Ali has been telling us for, again, nearly 2 years, at least a year now. Sean Reck, if and when this Convicting a Murderer comes out, it's not going to be biased in favor of the prosecution. She's been telling us, Sean is very much of the opinion that he wants to present something that is very, very accurate. And, much as Ken Kratz might like to promote the fact that Murder in the Park shows that, people who, do-gooders can cause a lot of damage. No, this is not the situation here. What Sean Reck did was to present a really good documentary that showed, all kinds of problems, particularly the fact that old story Simon confessed, wrongfully, and he's a grown adult, but he was putting under pressure, confessed. Yeah. Anyway, we're digressing. Absolutely brilliant. Sorry,
I think they're both sides.
Yeah,
convicting. It's in the name, because I was interviewed by him last weekend or the weekend before. Well, the same weekend that Erekose passed, and they were. I'm not able to say anything, but they were very pleasant, eager to hear what I had to say and listen to me, and I felt comfortable about it. So,
yeah, I'm sure that when we were in Manitowoc last year, it was the same camera.
It was.
Yeah, yeah, and they had a bit of chat with me as well. I don't know how coherent I sounded, because I was just enjoying the moment. But anyway, it was. As I say, I'm particularly pleased that the dude and the Transition Studios, their tribute to to the dude was
another
fantastic.
One. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know Gloria was one of the first people to be interviewed on the dude's channels?
Gloria.
Yeah, she was one of the first.
How do you say that?
Lenetsky.
Wow.
Lenetsky, yeah. No, I don't know who this is, but it's not my verbiage. No. Here's another
not
one.
My verbiage.
Here's another one from Not My Verbiage. Oh, no. Here we go.
This Ajax calls me Judy. I want to pop him.
I've gone all the way to the end of the chat.
Uncle's in here, Greg.
Yeah.
Hi,
Is he Greg?
Hello.
Oh, yeah.
I was chatting to him just before we came on there. In fact, that was the reason we were running a little bit behind, because Greg was in the chat. But I've gone and skipped a whole load.
How are the family doing, Paul?
How are they doing? Are they hanging it? What was the final tally?
I mean, I know that's a stupid question.
I don't know. It was like. I mean, look, it reached its target in less than 24 hours, and then it was, I more or less nearly 2,000 over that, So, I mean, it was absolutely brilliant. I can't remember exactly what the.
Thank you, everybody who did that.
That was amazing.
Marvelous. Thank you for pulling together and doing that.
Over 8,000 last I knew, but I don't. Since then, I don't know, but. And again, like it's not surprising.
I know. Oh, the thing is, I knew that because when we first had that conversation in the group, and Linda came in and said, like, she basically just said, like, whatever you need, let us know, and we'll do it. And like as soon as Linda said that, I got goosebumps, because I knew that something was going to go out there. And that it would be okay, that we would all step up for him.
Yeah.
So I got as far as a chat, and there's Crockett saying that it snows here, but he's in Australia.
I love Crockett. Hi, Crockett. How you doing?
Hello.
and Zelma. My phone didn't refresh.
There's so many people that you don't see all the time. You know, like 7 pair of panties went and made a voice.
Oh yes, I know.
Things. So, you know, and them are some really, really good researchers that don't, you know, you don't see them in behind the scenes, you know, but they are there, and they to show the respect that they did for Erekose. It's unbelievable, overwhelming, and it's just numbing for me at times, you know. I mean, it really is. It's just so fabulous.
Yeah. Well, Lucy's put the amount that was raised in. It's $8,201.
Oh, that's good.
That is incredible.
That his family wouldn't have to worry. That helps. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a difficult time when you have a sudden death. Well, any death that you can't prepare for it, but something like that, if somebody young and you don't expect it at all, it can be a real financial burden. So I'm glad that we did that. You know?
Yeah.
It shows the strength of everybody here. You know? And
yeah.
I mean, it's been pretty hard going. There was Ziggy, and then you know, with Denise.
That's it. Denise and Richard were just a month apart. And it was just starting to get over Denise, and then wham. So it's for me mentally. You know,
I bet.
I need to go back to what Richard said. I did good, and I'm getting back to interviews, and I got the Banana Man stuff.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to that, because you've been talking about that for a long time, haven't you?
A year or more,
yeah.
Linda,
Tuesday.
Sorry. No, I'm going to say, who is Bananarama Man? Is he a big fan of Bananarama?
Well, I guess his kids watch it, from what I know. I don't know. But, you know, he's going to get his theme song played. I've already put all the stuff in the cadre. And maybe I got a couple surprises for that little Banana Man. But, you know, he said I got to
Is it Banana Man?
It's the cartoon. Paul from the cartoon.
Right. So, Redditor, Twitter, he's a very big supporter of any wrongful convictions. So it's not just this case. He does it in a lot of other cases too, I guess. He's extremely smart.
He's a Newcastle United fan, but he seems apart from that, he seems quite sensible. So
I don't
here's another one. Here's another one from Don Ethan that did all that inspired everybody to get magnets.
Dr. Pepper, just for winning. Dr. Pepper was his favorite drink. This right here.
Oh, awesome. While we're on the subject of sport, by the way, it's not related to this, but if anyone's interested in the snooker score right now.
Oh, what is it?
My dad has been texting me updates because Ronnie O'Sullivan and Mark Selby are playing, and I'm like,
what is the score?
First it was 14-16 to Mark Selby, then it went to 15-16, and now it's at 16 all.
Oh, so, never. Last frame.
Come on, Ronnie.
Yeah. But the last, because I watched the Kyron Wilson and Anthony McGill one earlier.
Who won that?
Kyron Wilson.
Oh, never.
Yeah, but that was an absolute doozy of a one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
What is COYS?
But my dad's been texting me.
So no, you're okay.
They must be names of teams. You know me, I'm not sports worthy, so I don't know.
What is it? COY? What? I can't see the chat, so.
COYS. I don't know what that means. And then somebody responded Spurs, so I don't know what that means.
Spurs? Is that like Tottenham
Hotspur.
Come on, you Spurs. Yeah, Spurs. Come on, you Spurs.
Oh, I don't know.
Come on, you Spurs.
Yeah, English football, Linda.
It'll be that Millbilly. He's a Spurs fan.
Oh, Millbilly is,
Millbilly's a right Spurs fan, yeah. And anything to do with Arsenal, I always send him the latest because I've got a pupil's dad who is a right Spurs fan. He goes and watches them all the way from Scotland. He goes down to watch them, and anything funny about any of the other London clubs. It's it's funny, isn't it? We're talking about geography. Do you know when it comes to geography, the dude hadn't got a clue. He had not got a clue.
I knew you were going to say that.
Oh, it was clueless when it came to any kind of geography. But,
well, California, there is no other anything else other than California. That's what they say down there. Nothing better than California.
I must admit, I do appreciate that, California is such a huge place with Los Angeles itself is what, 3-4 million population. And Los Angeles County, and really, from what I can gather, the dude was, just a very humble person.
Sharon said it best. Richard was shy. Erekose would shout from the mountaintops.
Yeah.
Richard was shy. Erekose is fearless.
Yeah, fearless. Whatever. I couldn't quote exactly, but that's.
But words to that.
Never would have known he had anxiety of certain things, like Paul was saying. And no, when me and Denise were doing those anxiety things, the series, he was always there, and he was always saying that he wished his mother was able to talk about that because.
I'm just frozen.
I'm just frozen.
Yep.
Oh dear.
Okay, not to worry. We'll
she'll come
carry
back.
on. Yeah, she'll be back.
I thought she was just really considering what she was going to say next.
I know, yeah.
So did I. Yeah.
What?
What have we got here? We've got Dark Side of the Moon. We've got Don Ethan, Bean Green. Yeah, there you go. You froze. You were just about to say Erekose would join in and say
that he liked the series we were doing about anxiety because it helped him, and it helped his. He would have thought it would have helped his mother, talk about anxiety, and he said he got a lot out of it, and he thanked me and Denise, and I just never really, you don't look at him and think he's got any nervousness about him at all. When none. I mean, he would go and meet people everywhere. I mean, during rally, we were like, God, look at him. He's always got his camera. God, look at him. He's always doing this. We were like getting mad at him for always doing his thing, but that was what he did.
That just shows, though, doesn't it, that like even if you are racked with anxiety, like it doesn't mean to say that you're not capable of doing things, like, because one of the things about anxiety is you just like a big amount of self-doubt, like, and to overcome such a crippling thing, like that's huge. So him and anyone else who has suffered from anxiety doing this kind of thing, you should be really proud of yourself.
I suppose that's quite a tribute in the fact that there's him encouraging other. I mean, the reason he wore the kilt was it was part of
the video
to get people to do videos. It's called. He does a video where I okay. He sometimes he used to accuse me of busting his balls. That was not the case. Honestly, that was not the case.
Never.
What it was just me. Saying to him, try this, do that, do the other, and he does a video where it's called Erekose, tells his own tale, tells his tale, and he talks about the idea of having more and more people coming forward doing their own little video because it's just fantastic. I suppose sometimes as somebody coming new to the case, you might sort of be puzzled as to what am I going to look at, but the bottom line is the more people that are out there exposing the truth about this case, the more the guilt haters, they despise what's going on. That is their worst nightmare. More and more people becoming vocal about the case, because if we just sit there and we just sit on our keyboards and add comments, we're no threat to them at all. But if we start, making videos about the case, that's what I think that's pretty powerful. Let's see who else have we got here?
He will forever live in video. Everything he's done.
Tracy. Hi, Tracy.
Yeah,
so that is one thing we can all be thankful for. Some people leave the world and they don't leave anything, but Erekose left all of his passion and work.
A legacy. Yeah.
Yeah. I was looking back over some of the things from like his earlier things, and you can just see how much he grew in confidence, from his first ones. And I'd never actually done that before. I'd never gone back and looked at the old ones. I'd always, I think me and Jane talked about it once, and I was like, yeah, I must do that. And
well, when Paul put some of them in there, I was like, oh, I remember that one. That was the first one I ever said hi to him on. You can remember that. But if you look at how he's grown from his first video to, he's, when I met him, I was starstruck. I thought of him as like a star to me. When I first talked to him, I was talking to Amber at the time. She was a mod, and I was like, I don't know what to say to him. Well, she said, first of all, his name is Richard, and he's a real man, so you don't have to worry about it. Oh my God, no! I had been watching him for like a year. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, he's a star to me. I don't just go talk to stars. You just walk up to a star and start talking to him.
Yeah.
So when I first met him, and I looked at him, and I'm talking. Talked
about this the other day.
I was like. I started crying. Not that I was scared, but very overwhelmed because he is larger than life. Literally, he was a big guy. But I love that he liked that.
Yeah. One of the first things I did, I must admit, was well, sorry, not one of the first things, but what I did within the next couple of days is I did contact Jerry Buting, Steve Drizzen, Laura Nyrider, Kathleen Zellner. I did send them an email, and I must admit I was really, really, really. Well, we all are, we're really pleased that they all took the trouble to Steve Drizzen. Not just once, he also did a doff the cap,
Yeah,
that thing got
amazing. That it did.
I just cried when I saw that.
he had so much admiration for Steve Drizzen, and I can just imagine how he would have felt, knowing that all these people came forward, and it was just so lovely.
Yeah, when we went to Melbourne. We did a load of pictures outside the Melbourne Conference Centre. We actually sort of started doing pictures of the banner, and we were told by security people, I don't think you're going to be allowed to do much more of that, so kind of put it away. So anyway, I've got a few photographs with, the dude where we were sat, But at these events, rather than having a free for all at the end where everybody gets to meet, like whoever's done the presentation, you've just got a situation in Australia where they had, like, in effect VIP passes to meet them, and it was Tracy Keogh that gave the dude the VIP pass to go and meet Drizzen and Nyrider and Rudolph. And it was funny because as we were coming out, Tracy says, I've VIP pass, if you want it. I said, no, I don't want it. Give it to the dude. He is desperate to hand over one of these T-shirts, So anyway, when he came out, he was just, you couldn't shut the bugger up. It was just like, he was just so happy to have met them, and it was funny because what he said was that, like, because there was other people chatting, he actually spent quite a lot of time speaking to David Rudolph.
Yeah.
And you've met David Rudolph. That guy is awesome. Yeah.
No, I've not. David Rudolph wasn't at.
No. Sorry. Yeah. I spent a long time in Amsterdam chatting to David Rudolph, and he's absolutely brilliant to chat away to. Just a wee fella. He's smaller than me, and that's saying something. I'm only 5'9", but David Rudolph, absolutely stellar fella. Jerry is a wee bit taller than me. He must be nearly like.
Oh, he's tall, isn't he?
5'11", 5'11", 6 foot or something, you know. But yeah, the dude was saying that he got to speak with David Rudolph quite a bit, and then all of a sudden made eye contact with Steve Drizzen, and Steve Drizzen said, "You must be Erekose."
Oh,
and you know, he was so thrilled about the fact that, you know, his idol recognized him as who he was, you know, and that's when he just took his jacket off and just put the t-shirt on and said, "There you go."
Listen, I got a story for you. I met him for the first time at Eagle Nation. We were all standing outside smoking a cigarette. You know, we were going to take a picture with the banner, which we did. We were done with that. We're standing there smoking a cigarette. This guy drives by in a car, and he has to come back around, get out of his car, and walk up to Richard and go, "You're Erekose. I see you on TV. I know you were Erekose." When I looked at him and I said, "I don't ever want to hear you say that nobody knows who the hell you are when you come to you've never been to, and people are driving by and don't know who you are." He was amazed by that, but that's a very true story. And I was like, "See, you are famous. You are a superstar. Maybe not in the superstar world, like, you know, like the movies, but in our world, he was." In our world, he was.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know, I mean, he loved. I don't know if you know this, but sometimes he would send me the analytics to the various videos. If he was coming up to some sort of landmark event, you know, like coming up to like 1 million views, and he's nearly up to 2 million views, and obviously just prior to Making a Murderer Series 2 came out, I think he was around about the 3,000 subscribers. After Making a Murderer 2 came out, it shot up. It doubled in a couple of weeks, you know. But I remember he once sent me this rundown of the analytics of all the different countries in the world. You know, I mean, there are countries in this world, you know, that the dude has never heard of. That he's looking down. You know, he sent me this list of countries, you know, and it ran to 51 different countries, and one of them was Morocco. You know, and I said, well, yes, dude. I said, yeah, I was in Marrakesh at the time. Marrakesh is the capital of Morocco. I was watching you in Marrakesh in my hotel room, so no wonder you're in Morocco.
That banner of flags that was laid across, you know, in front of the whole courthouse. He was like looking at that, just totally amazed. I mean, I was too. I mean, I think everybody was when we really look at it. But you know, he touched so many people, and there's so many people that he touched that just lurk. You know, they will never know who they are. You know, but they're there. And you know, he might not have paid attention to his chat all the time, but he had a message to get out. And when he did, it was given and it was taken. You know what I'm saying? We knew what he was trying to say, and I so appreciate that. I used to love when he'd get real passionate and his veins would stick out and he'd be like this in front of the, you know, camera. We'd be going off and just, you know, like Hopper got him, you know what I mean? Or, you know, he would just, I loved it. And we'd go, oh, here he goes. He's getting passionate.
What was your first encounter with him? How did you come to be friends with him? I've probably heard it before.
Are you on about my first time I actually met him in person?
No. First time you ever, like, who? So did you approach him or did?
Yeah. So what it was, I contacted Herman. I chatted to him a few times. He said there's a Facebook group run by Carla Chase. Is there? Oh. That's great to know. Thanks, Robert. I'll join that. You know, so then I start seeing these videos that are being posted on the Facebook group, and you know, you go to them, and over the time I started commenting on them. You know, and obviously you sort of form a dialogue through the, you know, YouTube comments, and I think it was actually. It was 2017, around about the middle of 2017, before we actually sort of made friends on Facebook. but by that time we'd already, you know, within the Facebook group, you know, you're not going to be friends with every, you know, like if there's 25,000 members, you're not friends with every single one there. But that was when I first, you know, I think it was me that sent him the friend request, and he accepted, which was his, you know, I mean, he shouldn't have done, but you know, that's his.
Talking to you, when you're whoop, whoop.
You know, and it was just a case of when to be honest, when I first got in touch with him, I remember because I knew he was from I mean, he was always shy, even about people knowing, you know, certainly not knowing his name, but you know, even where he lived, you know, and he used to try and warn people, you know, please don't mention that I'm, you know, I'm even in California, you know, let alone Los Angeles. But anyway, I started, you know, basically talking about the Big Lebowski. That's how we sort of first sort of kicked off our banter, as it were, you know. And he would always refer to me as Donnie, as does Travis. You know, they still. Have you seen the film The Big Lebowski?
Yeah.
Yes. So you know who Donnie is, you know.
Yeah.
You know that throughout The Big Lebowski, all that ever happens is, when they turn to Donnie, they always say, "Donnie, shut the up." that it's constant throughout the film, because of course Steve Buscemi, that plays Donnie, his previous film was Fargo, where all he does non-stop is yap 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 yap. You know, he jabbers on incessantly. So in The Big Lebowski, he's the, you know, the one he's always trying to join in the conversation, never quite manages it, you know. So yeah, I've always been sort of had both the dude, you know, he used to send me that gif of, you know, shut the up, Donnie, and Travis often presents himself as Walter, as in the other character in The Big Lebowski, Walter Sobchak, you know. But it's just been brilliant, you know. I mean, sometimes when, you know, if I was, as he would call it, sort of busting his balls, you know, we would refer to one another mitrating on one another's rug. You know, that was our euphemism for, you know, for having to go at one another, you know, and you know,
you guys are just like brothers. I mean, I
used to always laugh about the fact I would always call him my wee brother. You are my wee brother, and there's obviously the joke is I'm 5'9" and he's 6'2", you know, but he's 11 years younger than me, so you are inferior. I'm superior. Shut the up.
Watching you guys on YouTube was really fun, but I had the pleasure of seeing you guys in person and meeting you in person and seeing you guys together then. And it was really, when I think about it now, it was really heartwarming to see how much you guys really, really love each other, and how much a friendship through across the seas and on the internet can mean so much and bring you so close. And it was just, I don't know what brought you together. I know that he said when he was Facebooking you and you were, you know, he says, "Who is this drunken Scotsman I'm talking to?" And, you know, and then you watched your video and he said, "I wanted him to do more. I like the way I mean, these are, you know, some of our conversations." And he said, it just was wonderful to see that in real life, because, you know, people can, you know, be a keyboard warrior or, you know, a YouTube star or whatever. But when you really see the genuineness of how he was and his passion, and then you guys together, it was a great pleasure. It really was.
Yeah.
William Williams just said that you guys are like Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger twins.
Hey, listen. I will take Danny DeVito for myself anytime, as long as the dude accepts he's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
You couldn't pass as Danny DeVito. I mean, my gosh. And he's a lot taller than me. I was like this. And my friend Wanda was like this. She was like this.
How tall was he?
about 6'2".
Yeah.
Yeah, what was funny was I kept calling him a Sasquatch because I must have provoked him, and he said about, if I've ever got hold of you, I'm gonna kick you on the ass. I'm gonna send you to the next county or something, I said, what size feet have you got? He said, size 13, so that was it, Sasquatch.
Paul, how many different names for him is on your list?
About 25,
Yeah.
But there'll be a lot more.
Them.
There will be a lot more, because that was long before meeting up with him in Manitowoc and Australia. I mean, I could probably come up with another 20 or 30. But probably my favorite one was, believe it or not, it used to be, sometimes I just call him Buddy, because that's what he was. He was just as you were saying, it's like funny. Come the weekends, you could catch up with his stuff live.
Yeah.
And then I could join in as Captain Crunch, and it was that was funny.
I actually brought Captain Crunch to the rally. I gave it to him, a box of it, and Paul.
Yeah.
I love the Captain Crunch debate, and now it's just
forever in film. So
it is, yeah.
And then just before I went away, because I've only just got back, and so I will continue to do it. But I was sharing just like a few, because I think it's important that we still keep his channel alive. So I keep sharing, sort of, picking just certain videos, and just off all the 3 channels, because he had 3 channels, and even just like the newest one with Sharon, his Indie States and the Sunshine Ouija. There's some great videos on there, and you can see how much he enjoyed doing them, and they're just how a bit more relaxed he seemed, because although he, when he was, doing the not the important stuff, but the more serious, when he was doing the videos with Sharon, they were just a bit more relaxed, and you can kind of see the difference. And then if you go on his Doctor Who channel, I didn't realize like how many videos are actually on his Doctor Who channel. I mean, there's like at least 150. So there must be.
I didn't know that either.
Oh yeah, I counted. And then on his Making a Murderer channel, there's got to be over 1,000 videos.
I don't even know.
I mean, I've not counted them because I couldn't even begin.
I wonder if he edited out that one he did where he was stood up. He looked so good in his tie and his shirt, and then he stood up and he had his khaki pants on.
Greg was saying that though. Greg was saying his uncle that he used to know when he was kind of doing an important, or he had an important guest on, or because he'd do all his hair back and he'd put on his shirt and tie, and then we would only see the top half, and then the bottom half he'd have his khaki shorts on and his flip flops.
Yeah. Do you know that comes from Charlie Berens?
Yeah.
You've ever watched the Man O'Clock Minute?
Yeah, I've heard about him a lot from you, Paul. But did he message a tribute? Did you contact Charlie?
What I did was I told him, I'll read it to you. I sent him a message, to say that he'd passed away this morning. And I sent. No, sorry, I sent him on the 3rd. That was it, the 3rd, because then I sent him the tweet from Jerry Buting. And what he wrote back was very nice. He wrote, "Oh, Paul, I am so sorry to hear that. What a tragedy. I hope you're hanging in there. He was a great guy." And that would mean so much to the dude, because, obviously he admired, the Charlie Berens stuff. I will just also mention that obviously Jerry Buting, as well as doing like a couple of his own tribute to the dude, also he retweeted the Transition Studios tribute. Jerry did, and I actually got in touch with Jerry, and I'll find you some of the stuff that he wrote, because I wrote, as I say, I wrote to them all, and Jerry got back with, let me find it.
Steve Marr was talking about. Steve Marr was the one I was wondering if somebody got a hold of, but I'm sure Michelle knew. She's in the.
Steve Morse. Yeah. So what I did was I wrote to him, Jerry, and it was basically along the lines of, I suppose always one for an opportunity. I'd said, would you like to come and join us, to talk about the dude and shining the light on injustice, and it was absolutely brilliant. He wrote, "Thanks for the invite, Paul, but so far I haven't done YouTube interviews and don't plan to." And the reason, obviously, I fully understand. I would have too many others unhappy that I didn't come on their sites. I mean, it's like, look, when I go out with the band, one of the things that really, really annoys me is if any other band member allows any member of the public to come up and they'll say, or can we, Johnny, have a shot of the drums? It's like, don't do that. Don't allow them to, because if one person comes up and has a shot of the drum, everybody is then entitled to come up and have a shot of the drums. You know what I mean? So I totally get that. I do wish, but he did carry on. As I say, I would have too many others unhappy that I didn't come on their sites. But then he carries on. I do wish I'd accepted Erekose's first invite.
And that was who now?
Sorry?
Who was that?
Jerry
Putin. Yeah. And then he carries on. I do watch some occasionally, and obviously saw Erekose and you sometimes. And I tweeted about the Mamathon and get people interested. I have to leave it at that. So it's that's fair enough. I fully understand. I think also that there's for some lawyers, there's obviously contractual obligations to maybe to Netflix, so I get the fact that
but he was really getting into this interviewing wrongful, the exonerees. He wanted us all to jump on the bandwagon and start doing that. So that's another course we can do, and I'm going to try to see through that October. I'm going to go down to Eagle Nation and me and my little friend Wanda and try to do whatever we can do, So,
I the one time I probably gave him a bit of a telling off was I said to him, dude, never ever try and present the fact that if you've got some person who you feel is up there, that somehow interviewing that person up there is more important than a supporter who is down there. Because honestly, you'll sometimes get more from the little person down there. It's nice having these, the bigger names, and it would be nice, if as Jerry said, if maybe Steve or Laura, had accepted the odd invitation. I mean, I was really pleased that TikTok Manitwok and John Farak agreed to come on and chat with him, and recently we had Richard Leo, but for me, it's all about equality. There's, dare I say it, there's nobody more important than anybody else in all of this,
Yeah.
Very true. Very true.
And he understood what I was saying, was but as you say, he did used to like chatting with Steve Moore, because it's somebody that people have seen on TV, and this is somebody that's sort of been there, done there, got the T-shirt sort of thing, so.
I mean, he loved everybody, talking to everybody.
Exactly.
I think his position was, and I can't speak for him, but what I took it as is he's got a large amount of subscribers, and you really got to try to keep them involved. So getting bigger names might keep them more involved. I mean, that's probably what his way of thinking is. Like for me, I mean, I'm thrilled that I get to do Eric Banana Man. Okay, I'm really thrilled because we've never ever done an interview. Probably never will. So
never.
You know,
you probably never will again.
Linda,
to me to get people, everybody. It doesn't even matter if you're just in this chat. You want to come onto my channel and talk about your story about how you got in this. I'm all for it. So I understand that, but a big name does make you feel good. And Richard was just trying to please us, you know, trying to give us look forward to.
Yeah.
And you never know, you know, like just, you know, you started me coming onto lives, Linda. Like I was absolutely terrified, but you were like, come on, like, and you're so happy to chat to. And that's the thing about like this community. Like we've said so many times before, it doesn't matter who you are because we've all got the same passion and the same interest and the same kind of things. Like you can meet anyone and just start up a conversation, and it's like you've known them for forever. So it's so easy then to just get on and have these conversations. It's just like sitting in a cafe having a chat.
It's an extra when you get to meet them, because like I met and Richard and you know, Stacy and all that. I was very fortunate to be able to meet these people, and I am, as Richard said when he met the guys, you know, the Fab Four, he was a much richer person. I am a much richer person too. I really am.
I was remember the first time I met him in person, the nightmare that had been, I would say, the 2 months leading up to going to Australia, and that carry on over that fucking parcel. What on earth was his problem? You know, I couldn't believe it. You know, I mean, you know, it was like it was getting to the stage where, you know, are you going to be there? Are you going to be there? You know, because you know this is important, dude. You know, and at first I couldn't believe how he was
passport gate. Yeah, right, Sharon.
Well, he was kind of like you know, he wasn't sure because I don't know if the boss will let me out, you know, and you know, but look, let me off for the time, you know. I said, dude, this is an opportunity to go to Australia. You know, think about it. You know, this is a once in a my wife, right? Honestly, Eunice wouldn't speak for me to me for about 5 days because she was so annoyed that I was going to Australia when I'd said all along, you know, she'd said about going to Australia because she went there for a year, you see, and she'd love to go back there, and I'm saying no, I don't fancy going back there. What do I want to go to Australia for? You know, what's so good about Australia? It's Australia. It's full of Australians. You know, why would you want to go there? It's like Wales. Why would you want to go to Wales? It's full of Welsh people, you know. It's, but, do you know what I mean? It's like, and I couldn't understand what his reluctance was, and I suppose it was, you know, just that, you know, sort of expanding his horizons. That Mark was really keen to, you know, to get him out of his little comfort zone in Southern California. And I mean, he excelled. But I mean, when I met him at the airport, he was, you know, he just turned up and he'd got his suitcase with all his stuff in it, because he'd got a whole heap of stuff that he bought with him, big huge suitcase, and he'd got all these t-shirts and stuff and the banner. No, he didn't have the banner then either because we hadn't done the banner yet, you know. But I mean, he was hyper. And what I didn't realize was that, you know, he liked the occasional cigarette, and he'd just come off this sort of 11, 12-hour flight, and he'd never had a chance to get a cigarette, so he was desperate to get outside, you know. And eventually he came in, and it's like, where'd you go?
He didn't want anybody to know.
He never ever wanted anybody to know.
Yeah. Because even when we were at the Raleigh house, I was out having a cigarette with Denise, and then of course Allie has her vape, and we're all standing around, and Richard comes around the corner and we got a cigarette I go, I didn't know you smoke. He goes, nobody does.
Yeah.
Nobody does. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. It was like when I first sent him something. The first thing I sent him was a tartan tie, which you've probably seen with his tartan tie. Yeah. And when I said, I'm gonna because he'd been on about the kilt, and he was on about the kilt. I said, well, I'll send you a tartan tie. Will you? Yeah. Give us an address. And so he sent me the address, but of course it was Steve Hunter's, his work address, and I just messaged back, and I said, thanks for that. Actually, Sheriff Herman already had that one, so have you got another one? And he just replied with, not funny. Hashtag not funny. Because he was so concerned about nobody knowing where he was, so he used the work address. Oh, it was so funny.
You never did get his real address, huh? Still Steve's.
yeah, absolutely. And here we go. Sorry, I'm not keeping up with
Sorry, guys in the chat. We see you.
Did you like Amanda Brown's?
Oh, that's
I don't know if I've seen it yet.
That made me cry.
We'll have to check that one out.
You will.
So he was very. I'll just tell from what I know from
the story.
Sharon told me Amanda is a singer who.
Yes. Sorry. Yes.
He had a bit of a thing for.
Yeah.
Yes. A Scottish singer.
Yes.
I was wondering where I knew that name from.
Yeah, and she's done she sung some songs, and she actually was crying. She just overcome with emotion in the songs, and she got really upset. So he would be doing cartwheels now.
I was watching that when I was at work because I saw Sharon sent it through to me on Facebook Messenger. So I had a little quiet bit at work and I was just listening to it thinking, oh.
I know. I cried. Then, of course, as soon as she sent it to me and I cried, I sent it to everybody, tweeted it, put it on Facebook, let everybody hear it,
Hi, Dark Side.
Hello.
Is that true now, Paul? You do not own a kilt?
No, the only photographs that I've got of me in a kilt were a father-in-law's kilt, and I rapidly grew out of that, and so it then went to my nephew on Eunice's side, and I believe if Ben still has it, it could well be in New Zealand by now.
Wow! So
it is a well-traveled kilt. So I certainly hope that it is in New Zealand because when you think of something like that banner, where it's been it was born in Australia. It's been to Sydney. It had a fantastic time at the Enmore. Honestly, I couldn't begin to describe how excited the dude was when we realised this banner was a huge thing for us, the fact that people were coming out to the show and we got this free Steve Neville, free Brendan Dassey, the number of people that wanted to be, there was only a limited number of people of the thousands at Enmore and Melbourne that got to meet Steve Drisenlaw and I Ryder and David Rudolph backstage and they did all that kind of stuff. But this was, dare I say, this was something a bit different because this wasn't organised by, the people putting on the presentation. This was supporters of Steve and Brendan on their own back doing something whereby people could come and get their photograph taken. And you've seen some of the photographs that people were queuing up to get their photograph with the banner. It was absolutely brilliant. And then when we went outside, there were still people, coming up, looking at the banner.
His thing was he wanted to be tweeted.
Yeah.
Remember Zellmer said you do that, you'll be tweeted. And he was like, didn't they almost arrested?
I remember that.
Yeah. Having a banner. I was like,
yeah. She tweeted. I believe what it was. She did Zelna not tweet about a supporter in Ireland?
Yeah.
Who had a banner. I think it was either one of the Irish football games. Irish football is very similar to Aussie rules, or it was a rugby international. It was something to do with somewhere in Ireland, and somebody had a similar sort of banner to do with Stephen Avery, and yeah, that's exactly what it was. And of course, just before we went to Australia, Kathleen Zellner had actually on her website, she had the fact that Stacey Seabrook was doing all these fantastic songs to do with the case.
Yeah.
But I mean, for that banner to have gone from Sydney, well, it was born well north of Sydney. And I remember me, the four of us sat outside on Mark's veranda, and we're trying to decide what it should have written on it. And the dude was like, he wants this, and he wants that, and he wants this, and the other, and that, and that, and that. If you haven't done so already, please hit subscribe. And we're like, dude, that's not going to work. Let's just keep it nice and simple. Let's just. So what happened was that Mark just sent the ideas to this printing studio, and when we picked it up, it was just absolutely fantastic. And guess who got the honor of carrying it around most of the places? And it was kind of lucky because I thought, well, this thing it's constantly rolled up. It's constantly rolled up. You see it many a time, and it's curling at the edges. And you might wonder, how did we manage to get it so straight at the Marvel Stadium? If you look very carefully, you'll see two little bits of masking tape in the corners. And that was my idea. I said, the next chance we get to, I'm going to get some masking tape, just so that if we ever get the opportunity to put it somewhere, that it'll lie flat. Because I mean, even at the Sydney Opera House, you see those pictures outside, it's still got that bit of curve whereby you've got to sort of try and hold it top and bottom.
Right.
And it's so big. I mean, it's a huge banner. I mean, when he had it in his studio, he had to take it down eventually because he'd got so many flags, hadn't he?
Yeah. That's why I wanted to see if they could do a flag. That little symbol that they made for him with the tree, the California tree with the Scottish root. I really want a flag for that, so I can stick it up here, in his honour.
I think we could get one done ourselves, Di.
Could we?
Over here, yeah. It probably
because I think it would be an amazing thing to.
Yeah.
I never knew there was the symbol of California, the bear there on it. I never noticed that. But when Jinx painted a rock, which she painted a rock for him.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. And she did a great job too. She's got that bear, and I go, what? Oh, that's a bear.
Yeah.
I just had never noticed it on his shirt. You know what I mean? And I really did not know that he had Scottish roots. I did. I mean, as much as he was, always talking about this and that, I just thought it was just fun banter between him and, Paul. I didn't realize that he really, but Mick Adam, come on, Linda, I mean, but I think that's great. I think it's great that
he's very proud of his.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he really was. And he loved the still game.
Oh, I love that. My dad loves that. He watches it all the time.
Like Fresh Start Monday said, I hope his channel blows up because he needs it. It just blows up. And that would be wonderful if he could meet 10,000 subscribers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, that's not an easy feat, but he wasn't far away. You know what I mean?
You know what we should do? Like every time we do a live, we should just put his YouTube link in the thing.
Yeah.
And just tell everyone to hit subscribe to that.
Because he is from the majority of us, we've seen a few, but I just want to say, first of all, let's all thank Ripper Jack. Okay.
Yeah.
because he was the one that encouraged Richard to do his first video.
Yes.
I saw the comment in there as well, like, because he said, well, it says, welcome to YouTube, Skippy. So I was like, oh.
Thank you, Richard, for that, because otherwise we wouldn't have as much as we have, because he was, even in the slow times, he would talk about it. He would talk about it. And that was so important for him to get the message out. And he encouraged all of us. I certainly wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if it wasn't for him. I know I wouldn't. You know, I mean, he did kind little things, like when he went on his trip to Australia, he got Stacy to make my own private little video saying, you know, thanks for joining the truth train. And I won't say what else, but it was cute. And he did it special just for me. And he was thinking about me across the, you know, country. And that he did that. And a lot of people don't know them special little things, you know, that a lot of us have, you know.
Yeah.
He was willing to talk to anybody, guilt or no guilt, or it don't matter. You know, if you're talking stupid, he had no time for you, you know. But that's most of us, you know, let's put it that way. It's most of us. But he always wanted the supporters to stay supporters, to stay together, because we're on the same path. And if anything, we can really just take that to heart. You know, maybe some of this petty ass crap that people got going on will stop, you know, because it's really not about any of us. It's about the message. And that's what one thing that Richard made very clear.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting because, I mean, to begin with, I thought of sort of the dude as being, how can I put this? It was like, well, I'll cut to the chase. I consider myself to be more sort of militant than he was. And yet he was the young, he's a much younger guy, you know, living in California. And yet I feel at times I was far more militant than him, you know, in the way that I would sort of sometimes criticize things that I'd seen, you know, things that I've seen happen and stuff like that, you know, whereas he would just sort of let it go, you know, and chill out, you know. And it's like, what, you know, you're just going to leave it at that? Oh, okay then, you know. I just wanted to share with you one other email that I got. I don't know that I've ever mentioned this before, but obviously the dude, as we all know, was very, very keen on going to Manitowoc in October, not least because it would get the opportunity to go to Nina. And you know, it was short and sweet. I sent a message to Aaron Olson of the Chief of Police of Nina Police Department, and he did have the good grace to reply with, you know, just a very simple question, a very simple short statement. You know, he wrote, "Hello, Paul. This is very sad. 44 is way too young to pass away." So, you know, I do have a lot of respect for, you know, for somebody that can acknowledge, you know, that, you know, maybe Aaron Olson is, you know, he's in a situation where, you know, he's chief of police, he's trying to defend his office, but at least he's, you know, he's good enough to, he's got the good grace to, you know, to send a message back. And I know for a fact that that's the sort of thing that the dude would appreciate. You know, it's like, you know, he transcends our side into the other side as well. You know, it's like, doesn't matter where you're from. He was, you know, just this. As I say, he's kind of taught me a lot in that, you know, as I say, kind of militant, kind of sometimes, you know, don't suffer fools Jack gladly, but he's made me sort of reassess certain things, you know. I mean, I would go so far as to say that when it comes to, you know, like within our own community, you know, yeah, there's been the odd drama, hasn't there? You know, you're not going to get, there is no way you're going to get, like, with even within the Facebook group, you've got 20, 30, 40, whatever thousand people there. You're not going to get everybody singing from the same hymn sheet. And I mean, I've had fallouts with people. I remember once I left the Facebook group. I said, if I'm going to be talked to like that, and I was told off by Carla and added straight back in again. So, I learnt my lesson not to argue with her. But you know what I mean? It's like he's taught me that you've got to embrace all the different people with all their different ideas, and the one thing I would say is that if there's people that we haven't always seen eye to eye with, and as I have said to one or two people, look, let's put that in the past. This is a tragic event, but let's try and make some good of it. Let's try and pull everybody together the way we should be, and let's keep going. I think that's what he would he would be most proud of up there with St. Peter if he's good. Anyway, I'm sorry, I've sort of rabbiting on a bit, I've havered on a bit, as he would say.
This is about him now, isn't it? So
yeah.
He certainly was a peacemaker.
Yeah.
And he just tried to make everyone get along, and that's one of the things I loved about him, because he was just such a good guy.
You're on mute, Linda.
Like low budget into productions here. I mean, you try.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
You're not going to get along with everybody, but those that you don't have to say mean words. You don't have to say anything. You're just better off not engaging then. And that's something I did learn. Yeah. Sometimes even if you think you're saying something to somebody to get them to understand it, some people just don't want to, and they might not like you for whatever reasons, and that's fine. But we all are on the same path, and if you're fighting for justice and truth, then keep on doing it. Just keep on talking.
Yeah, you know that Mamathon mastermind that we did.
Yes,
I've watched that so many times. I kill myself laughing at the bit where I say to the dude, I say, we're on I think it's that video, and we're on about the fact about technology, and I say to him, you've called me geriatric in the past, and he goes, well. Well.
We had so much fun making that.
That was
I really wish I could have been there for that.
Yeah,
I had known for months and months. Paul had sent me all this stuff and said, we're going to do this and do this. And I keep thinking, when are we going to do this? When are we going to do this? And all of a sudden we're doing it. And I'm like, okay. It was so fun.
It's one of the things I love to look back on because I remember the night we filmed it, and it just makes me smile, because I just think of it with fond memories.
Yeah,
I really do. Well, any video that but I don't know what it is about that one. It's just a special one. It really is.
He was actually, to begin with, he was reluctant about it because he couldn't see the point of it, and I said, dude, it'll be okay, and in the end he did say, that was good fun, that was good laugh.
I'm glad we did it. I really am. I was like, it was fun.
Yeah.
But I don't want to watch him cut onions anymore. That's for sure.
I actually remember, like, when he did one of those chorizo and egg ones, and I was like, what am I watching here? I didn't know anything about the chorizo and egg thing, and I was like, why is he making eggs and chorizo? Well, I watched it. I watched the whole thing.
You should have seen him in person making it.
Wasn't that his favourite breakfast?
So?
Wasn't that his favourite breakfast?
It's something his dad used to make him, I guess.
It's on about the fact it was something his dad used to make. I mean, I never quite understand, because we were in Australia. We went on the Friday night. We went to see Judith Lucy. And if you ever get the chance to watch Judith Lucy, she's an Australian, a right feminist. It was so funny the way she would take the mick out of anybody in the audience. Just absolutely brilliant. It was Mark that said, we'll go and watch her at the Sydney Opera House, and it was absolutely brilliant. I mean, we laughed non-stop at it. It was Judith. The show was entitled Judith Lucy versus Men, and it was all about her relationships with various men and how they'd gone badly or whatever, and so we watched that, and then we go to this Italian restaurant, beautiful Italian restaurant in Sydney, right close to the harbour, and he wanted this because it said it had chorizo, but it was pepperoni. Well, the thing is, right, a chorizo in another country, unless you're in, correct me if I'm wrong, chorizo comes from Mexico or Spain. Is that right? It's either Spain or Mexico. Anyway, so if you have a chorizo in another country, of course, it's going to be similar to pepperoni. But the dude spent ages taking all the slices of pepperoni and put them to the side of his plate. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Does it taste like chorizo? God, you are so fussy,
There was a pepperoni gate that went on forever.
Oh, yeah. And then it turns out the chorizo pepperoni there, but pepperoni, yeah. It's all the same stuff. But do you know what it was? It boils down to the fact that sometimes you can take the dude out of California, but you can't take California out of the dude. Yeah. And that's really what it was. He was just looking for the stuff that he was used to, and I suppose, in a way, it was stuff that he trusted. Me, on the other hand, it was like, every time we went to a restaurant, it was like, well, Mark, what would you suggest, and he would say, well, try this, that, and the other, But the dude, no, he was a bloody nightmare. Apart from when he's doing his video, of course, in the kitchen. That was classic. That's classic. Because at Miller's Point, when we were in Sydney on the Thursday and the Friday, we were where we met Hugh, and we also met. Yeah. And he did a video. I can't remember what day was it. Was it in the afternoon? It might have been the afternoon of Thursday, because Mark had to go back to his house because he that was like, yeah. Mark had said to all of us, now then, make sure you pack everything because we won't be coming back. So we made sure all bags packed in the car. He gets to Sydney and Mark's gone and forgot his suitcase, hasn't he? So Mark had to go back, so he leaves us. He leaves me and the dude and Stacey unattended for several hours, So anyway, the dude sets up his studio in the kitchen, So anyway, I think it's come about 11:30, 12 o'clock. It's pub opening time. So that was it. I was to and from the bar at the Palisade, because the room we were staying in was right behind the Palisade. It was literally a 15-step walk, and I did that countless times, bringing him, a half a lager, and half a Furfys, until eventually the barman, a couple of the barmen said, you're not allowed to take this outside, by the way. I said, what? Not even just the next? No, you're not allowed to, Huh? So I had to drink it there, and then I think eventually we managed to sort something out. But yeah, it was brilliant because he was just so committed to the idea that when he was in Australia, his whole reason for being there was to sort of connect with the with the Australian supporters, and also to do as many live video chats as he could. He was keen to tell everybody where he was, what he was doing, what it was all about.
And that Paul took his last Dr. Pepper and drank it.
I did not. Right. Okay. Okay. We need to sort this out once and for all. What happened was this, right? I wake up on the.
We'll hear the story now. He's not here.
On the it must have been the Friday morning, because we came down on the Thursday. His bloody alarm had on his phone, which he must have set to some stupid o'clock, and I'm woken up by this, whose bloody alarm is that, because I mean he's the other side of the hallway and the lounge and everything, But eventually we get up, and he buggers off into Sydney, on his hunt for Dr. Pepper, and eventually, I mean, I've just gone down to the local shop, had a coffee, another shop, got some. They were, like the pot noodle soups, but they're like the chow mein, the Chinese noodle soups, absolutely fantastic. So I comes back with them. That's our breakfast sorted, So when he eventually arrives back with a can of Dr. Pepper that he's managed to find,
Oh.
And I couldn't believe it that he would be so desperate to get a can of Dr. Why not go with whatever's local? But anyway, no, that was him. He had to have his Dr. Pepper. So anyway, I'm busy frantically going around, boiling kettles, making up these soup things. Well, then I goes to the fridge because I'd got 3 cans of Diet Pepsi. And for some unknown reason, I just picked up the wrong can, opened it, took a swig, and it's like, and that was as far as it got, honestly. So I just, and he goes, I don't believe it. You only got 1 can of Dr. Pepper. You bloody opened it. I said, not on bloody purpose. I'll tell you that much.
How long did it take him to find it?
Well, at least an hour. He told me that he'd gone down to various shops, all along, all the way down to the harbour and back up again to get this can of Dr. Pepper. But I think the problem was that it's a little bit like when you stop in a strange town and you ask for directions, and you're the first person you get to, they kind of know roughly what area you're on about, so they'll give you directions roughly to that area. So I think what he was telling me was that he came back and he was telling me he'd got this cock and bull story that every shop said, I think they've got it in the next one down, the next one down, the next one down. He'd been around in a big loop to eventually get his. It was
Erekose.
Yeah. Sorry. So the other Carol Ann Fitzgerald was the other Aussie that we met in the Palisade, and that was the other thing, that every time that we're there, I'm realizing that if I don't take photographs, then who's going to take photographs? We need to photograph. So you see me constantly taking photographs, and I'm always saying smile, and this really irritated the dude because he would sit there grinning, and take the picture, Paul. And so every now and again, you'll see him with the middle finger raised in an upright position, aimed at me. So I often joke about the fact that that's him saying, will you please take one more picture? When in actual fact, he's anything but. He's like, get on with it. It was just a brilliant time. It was very, 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 very enjoyable. But anyway, listen, we've been doing this now for, even though we started well late in honor of the dude, it's now an hour and a half in, so I'm going to let you guys go.
Oh, thank you for inviting us anyway.
Oh yeah, look, it's it's a tragic loss. It's it's nothing we can do about it. It is what it is. But for me, as much as I'm heartbroken over the fact that the dude's gone, when you see the tributes that everybody's done to him and the tweets and the videos, I mean the videos that are out there are absolutely fantastic. For me it says it all, doesn't it? It's and it's something I've always said is that if there's a better community out there, fine, show me, because I can't think of any better community than the one that's worldwide. I mean, I've made friends in so many different countries.
You're on mute, Linda.
Oh.
Linda, you're on mute.
I'm just saying that he there was this, we were scattered around. Then all of a sudden, he just brought us all together with the Discord, and it just blew up. It just he made the community. He really did. I mean, so many of us. I mean, I can't think of anybody that didn't start with him. So it's the biggest loss our community could have outside of something happened, God forbid, to the guys. You know what I mean? But he kept us together, and I think as a tribute to him, we should just keep on going and do what he was doing. I mean, nobody will be able to fill his shoes. Nobody could accomplish that. The guy was too good at what he did. But we all have our own little niche, like me is with talking to the people, and you guys are talking to wrongfully convicted, and Paul, he's all over the board. He gets the emails and he talks to the people I would never even think of talking to, or like these officials and things. I don't know how he does it, but that we all have our thing. And
when's your next one, Linda? When's your next live?
Tonight. I do my Positively Brendan, and he was always there, because he said nobody talks about Brendan. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to start talking about Brendan, even if it's just to get the mailing address or see what he's doing. And Becca's wonderful, and she's got a good relationship with Brendan. So it's it's for us to think of positiveness about Brendan.
So spread the word on that, guys. If you're watching, Linda's on tonight. Positively Brendan.
And mark your calendars for Saturday the 22nd, because I got me a banana, man.
It's a 22nd.
The 22nd, Saturday 22nd, 4 o'clock.
I'm off that day. Yes.
10 o'clock, you guys time, I believe. I don't know Paul, and Paul, and
Paul's same time as us.
Yeah. So just let's all keep doing our thing. And honor him with respect, because he definitely deserved it. And it's overwhelming. It's really overwhelming, all the people that have. Thank you so much, everybody. Appreciate it.
Stacy's song as well. Just
and we're all a little bit in there, Erekose.
Yeah.
I mean, I said to Eunice, just say it, just say it. But she decided she wanted to sing it, and I reckon I can actually hear her singing it because everybody else is saying it, but she's actually singing it, Erekose. Fine. There was one of the things that has sort of interested me recently. One of the things I have been doing is carrying on with my sort of chats with musicians and sort of diversification. One of the main reasons for that is the fact that you never know if you might chat with somebody who will tune in because of somebody in my little sort of world of musicians might come in and think, well, what's this making a murder thing, and might get into it. So that was the other thing I was going to mention was, it was often mentioned by Stacy was always going on about this. How do we expand beyond our sort of our echo chamber, as it were? And I think particularly now that our main echo, well, as I say, he's gone but never forgotten. How do we sort of expand further? That's maybe one thing to think about. Just how do we reach out to if all 7,000 of the dude subscribers, if they all engage with people in their own little bubble, echo chamber, and are discussing making a murder, it's a little bit like in this times of COVID, it's a very infectious disease, but it's all about multiplication, isn't it? You touch one person, that person might touch somebody else who might then, it's just a thought. Maybe we could try
I agree with that, Paul. I think like the more people you speak to, you'll get them on your channel, have interviews with them, and then they'll get their group of people to come in and join in, and it will expand that way. Like Jane and I've got someone coming on ours on Wednesday from the Centre for Integrity for Forensic Science. Yeah. They're coming onto our channel on Wednesday, so look out for that one because that's
Di's channel.
Oh yeah.
We're on your channel.
I'll just call it ours. So.
I know, I know, but just...
on my channel. On my channel.
Then we got me, and then I seen Paul. I'm like, if you can do it, I can do it. Oh, then I watched and watched, and then he kept. Erekose kept pushing me. Come on, Linda, when are you gonna do your channel? Finally, with me and the girls, the Glow Man, I finally got over it and I did it. But now there's Jane, and then there's Diane, and then there's Sean Mahoney who's gonna do Brendan things. So we are branching off, and this is something that he built, and we can all be thankful for that, because from us there will be more, and we are reaching. Even if I only get 5 people that watch my video, they might tell 5 people, and then so on. So it's an effort from one man who has reached millions. As far as I'm concerned, he has reached as many people as making a murder. They all want to know about it. Where do they go? Erekose.
Erekose,
exactly.
And I know for all of us, it's not about the. Sorry, Paul. It's not about likes and subscribers. It's just not. It's not even about that. It's just about getting the word out. And and Erekose was just quite recently. As much as he cares about Stephen and Brendan, he wanted us to branch out and look at other cases, because it isn't just Stephen and Brendan. There's so many other wrongful convictions, and it's just about shedding light on all of them, and we just owe so much to him. I just miss him so much. It's just
I do. I feel very sorry for supporters of Daniel Holtzclaw in particular, because there he was right into really getting started with that, and
it's a tribute, isn't it?
Yeah, but listen, we're still here. We're still gonna pursue all of that side of stuff.
Just Rhonda's making a channel just for that. So
yeah. And I mean, the thing is that what I was going to ask, you guys that have, I mean, I started a channel because of the dude, and I mean, I've regretted every moment of it not. And I trust you lot are the same.
Yes, totally, 100%.
Yeah, it's like you almost wonder, bloody hell, I could have done this years ago.
Yeah,
you think it's it's a case of I couldn't possibly do that. No. But that goes there. That's for those guys to do, As I say, I did find it strange when people were telling me, and the dude told me himself that he would spend ages thinking about what he was going to say, and I'm like, just write it down.
I don't do that.
And if yeah, I must admit, I do a bit of both. Yeah, but I mean, I write down a couple of. Often, what will happen is we're going along a conversation. I might make a note of something because you know there might be something you want to say, and other people are talking, and by the time you get to an opportunity, you've completely forgotten what it was you were going to say. So write it down, sort of thing, you know. But it's not that difficult. But I do like what you were saying about Sharon. You know that when it came to the dude, you know, it's you know.
Or Trusty Ouija.
Shy, you know, a shy.
Richard was shy.
You know, Richard was shy, but the dude, anything but shy. He was just loud and big and loud. You know, I once said to him, you know, about that quote from the film In Bruges. You know, where the two characters go into the bar and the American guy goes in there and orders drinks, you know, and they look at him and they say, "You American?" And he says, "Yeah, but don't hold it against me." And the other guys say, "Well, that's for me to decide, as long as you don't say anything too loud or too crass." But you know, the dude was anything but that. You know, yes, he was big and loud and brash. Well, I always found him like that, but no, never crass. If anything, I was the one that was the one that was, you know, as I say, slightly more. Well, I always am going to be. I am always going to be more, a bit more militant, you know. But
you wanted you to be you, and that's another thing that's so encouraging. That you know, I am very opinionated, pretty loud, and not real. You know, I'm not a book-educated scholar or anything. But he allowed me to be me, and he said, "Honey, you're doing something that's unique. Nobody knows what you're doing, so that's got to be its place too." So, you know, no matter what, he was encouraging. I mean, I didn't always see eye to eye with him, not with anybody, but I still respected him extremely, very highly. I respected him and always thanked him for giving me the courage to do what I'm doing. So, rest in peace.
Yeah, I always remember the time. Yeah, I didn't drink to that any time. I'll drink to anything to do with the dude. But I remember there was one time when he got, I can't remember what shirt it was he'd got on, but he'd got that Pink Panther tie. You know the Pink Panther tie?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, that was another one I sent him, by the way.
Supporter tie too, isn't it? A supporter for supporting, isn't it? That Pink Panther tie. Does that stand for something, or is that? I'm thinking of the one with the stripes. That's the one you gave him. Supporting tie. I don't know. I love his ties.
What it was I'd sent him the tartan tie, but you know, I said, you know, because he said he'd only got the one tie. He hadn't got any ties, and I said, well, I'll send you one, but you can't wear it all the time, you know. So I sent him a little clip of, you know, various ties that I'd got that, you know, I was happy to send him. And I said, this is quite nice, and because it's in the Dodgers colours, it's got the pink band, you know. So yeah, okay, you know. But yeah, it was.
I loved his fascination for Doctor Who.
Yeah,
because I loved Doctor Who growing up.
See, for me, that just proves the big kid in him. He was just a big kid at times, you know.
Yeah,
and I used to get on with him, you know. Grow up, will you?
Yeah.
You know, Doctor Who. Who the hell watches Doctor Who? You know, 40-year-old. Grow up.
Hey, Doctor Who's good, man.
As Stacy says in his song, Richard just wanted to be a better you. He was a better you. He always wanted to be a better you, and us. That's all he ever wanted.
Better version,
just wanted a version of himself.
Yeah.
Better version. That's right. So
better version.
So we can all try to be a better version and shine in his light. You know.
Our friend Richard McAdam.
Yep.
Erekose.
I never ever called him Richard. And you know where that comes from? It was simply the fact that you know, right from the word go, he said to me, you know, preparing to do some of to begin with, it was all on Skype. We would Skype one another, and I would get up stupid o'clock to suit him, like 4 or 5 in the morning, to do this Skype call with him. And it was always a case of, he didn't want anybody, don't mention where I'm from. Well, not that I knew where he was from anyway, He could be from the planet Zork for all I knew, and don't mention my name, So it was like a no-brainer, I only know one person I already know one person from Las Vegas, and he's called Jeffrey Lebowski, but that's not the name he goes by. He prefers to be the dude. So that was it. You're the dude. And wasn't it brilliant at Rally at Manitowoc? Somebody had sent him a T-shirt, a Wrecking Crew T-shirt. It said Wrecking Crew on. He must have got it when he was in. Previously in Australia, because there's that picture of him, showing his muscles from behind, and it's got the record, and on the front of it, it's got the dude. Even other people have picked up on that and said,
"Oh, the one with the magnifying glass, right? He loved that somebody made for him, and that family that made it was at the rally with their shirts on. So, yep.
I remember when I very first started talking to him, I was scared to call him Richard because, and I remember speaking to Jane about it actually. I don't know if you remember Jane, and I was like, I said, who's Richard? I knew his name was Richard, but I was just like, I was scared to call him just in case it was wrong.
Exactly.
I would never have called him Richard on camera. It was always Erekose on camera, but just off camera I did. But
I never called it.
I did call him Richard a little bit when
it was Erekose, sir. When I started,
But that's another thing. I got on with it at first. I said, "Why are you calling me Mr. Capaldi? I don't even ask my pupils to call me Mr. What's with this Mr. Capaldi business? Just call me Paul. It's not Mr. Capaldi, but no, that was him. It was just the way he was. But did you ever see that? I don't know how many sent it to. There's a short clip of him. You know how he loved the song "Werewolves of London."
Yes.
Ow. Well,
yeah,
I've got 30 seconds of me with the Werewolves of London playing in the background, and it's Werewolves of London, and then he actually sent a video to me. It's only about 5 seconds of him going ow.
You know what video I loved with you guys was when you're driving in Mark's car and it's down under down under from the London under, and he's really singing and he was just having a ball. And then somebody in the back is going, "At least he's got a seatbelt on, and we don't hear beep 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 beep."
Yes. Bloody hell! Every time he would jump in the front of Mark's car. I mean that was the funny thing for starters, of course, is the fact that in Australia they drive on the same side of the road as we do in the UK.
Yeah.
They drive on the we drive on the left side of the road. Yeah, because and it's historical. It goes way back to the days of people riding on horses. If you're going to challenge somebody, if you need to get your sword out or whatever it is to challenge somebody, most people are right-handed, so you draw it out your left side, you draw your sword out, and you're ready to battle. Yeah, people have been driving on the left side of the road for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. This idea that somehow Britain and Australia, we're on the wrong side. No, check your history, But anyway,
I think I'll belong in America then, because I'm left-handed, so I'll have to get my sword out with my left hand.
You would, yeah. I don't think you'd last very long in a joust.
I'd figure it out.
It was every time we jumped in the car, he would try and get in the wrong side, of course, and then he would didn't care less about the seatbelt, and as you say, it was beep, 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 beep. Me and Stacey, seatbelt! Yeah, it was... That was
William says, Jane, you're the boss.
Yeah,
yeah.
Rally called her the boss because she
dubbed by the boss. Yeah.
Yep. But everybody's put out really wonderful tributes to him, and I want to thank you all for doing it. I know it wasn't easy. Zoe from Foul Plate, she set up recordings for people, and it's beautiful. And Stacy's song, and the lady from Scotland singing that song for him, and Richard Boyd. Richard Boyd's makes me cry, and I just love watching it because the guy gets down with them flames, and then the others, the bagpipes at the end. It's very, very touching, and I just think this is very wonderful of everybody to do that. Thank you,
Alex from Fresh Start Mondays. That was
touching. He was really going through a hard time.
Oh yeah.
So many. So many.
There's been a lot.
The black belt of MaM. That's what he called them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to Falcon? Well, Falcon's still around, and I actually needed to contact him recently, and Fen did as well, just to confirm that it was actually Falcon that designed the Wrecking Crew logo.
Right here.
Yeah, and absolutely, Doctor. So sorry. Yeah, that's sorry. I meant to click on that one, but Dark Side, absolutely.
Hi, Mark. Mark Hodnot's in there.
Hello.
Is he? Oh my goodness.
If I could quick say, Falcon actually went on a banner tour with Erekose, and if you look, he's in the picture. So they're all looking at the camera like this. He's there, so you can see him. He was a respectable guilter. Richard, he welcomed all of it. He made a room for him in his Discord for guilters, so he could go there and have a discussion with them. I mean, he opened up doors for so many people, and you just don't find people like that every day. So he might be gone, but will never be forgotten forever. He's changed my life in a whole complete different way.
Yeah.
If Sharon's still watching, I hope you feel better.
Yeah, Sharon, I hope you feel better.
Yeah.
I've seen your comments.
Be here, but...
And shaken but not stirred, I believe from reading chat, is Richard's girlfriend.
Yes.
Or was Richard's girlfriend. So everybody's been very nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I still can't.
Thank you, Paul, for having us.
It would take a lifetime to get through all the videos. I mean, well, sorry, not quite a lifetime, but you know what I mean. It would take ages to get through all the videos. I mean, as I say, I'm kind of relieved that in quite a lot of chats with him, I managed to embarrass him totally, and I could see him going red by me telling him, you're awesome, you're just a great guy, and I often would say, it's not just because of the MaM community stuff, but also he did explain to me some of his sort of growing up, as a youngster, and the fact that he realized that he could have gone down a certain track, but he didn't. He decided he was going to do something about it, and that to me was very powerful stuff, because how many people do go down the wrong line, and he decided that he was going to do something good with what he got. Very, very, very powerful stuff.
Take him too soon. He could have imagined what he could have done. I mean,
just a regular guy, but when he became Erekose, he became someone else, didn't he? He was that's very true. Very, very true. Okay. Well, I've managed to keep you ladies here for nearly 2 hours.
It's been a pleasure, Paul.
Well, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure to have everybody here.
I kind of get comfort talking as well, like when we talk like this.
Yeah, yeah.
I have my times at home when I'm upset and I cry because I see the videos, but it's just nice to be able to sit and reminisce about him, and we've got such fond memories, and we'll always have them.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I would never know you guys if it wasn't for him.
Yeah.
You know? Wouldn't know half.
Yeah.
So I thank you.
Yeah. I must admit, it is hard, you know. I mean, I actually, even though he was gone, I did send him a message, a Facebook message, you know, just saying, you know, you may be gone, but you'll never be forgotten. And I know that he's not going to be able to reply in person, but I'm sure he's got the message. I'm sure he's up there telling everybody about, you know, his, you know, telling everybody about Brendan, and you know, yeah.
He knows all the answers now.
He knows all the answers now, so he's looking down, going, "Guys, I was right. You guys were right."
Yeah. Well, yeah. He's, you
well,
know,
I told that idiot he was wrong. He said, oh, he's so great.
Yeah. But it's
well,
just.
If you haven't already, guys, that's I love that.
So.
When he says, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe, you know, and we'll see it, folks, you know.
Do you know that was going to be one of the other T-shirts we were going to do for him? Erekose on making a mem. If you haven't done so already, please hit subscribe. We were going. I'd actually got the artwork all done for that, you know. So maybe at some point I'll do a T-shirt hashtag Erekose hashtag the dude.
There you go.
Ask me about the control question. Copyright Erekose. maybe that. Yeah, ask me about the control question. Oh, that was so funny. That was the when I said to Mark about, you know, come on, ask at some point in the video, ask him about the control question, you know, and when you can tell that when Mark does it, he thinks that the dude is going to cotton on straight away to the fact that I have put him up to doing that.
Yeah.
I can tell that Mark's reading the situation. You know, he's thinking, I'll do it just for fun. But, you know, the dude is going to come back to him. Capaldi put you up to ask that, didn't he? You know, but no, straight in there. Yeah, love to talk about the control question.
All I
and then
on the other day, and
fundraiser.
Sorry,
I think she's behind.
Sorry,
Martha. We've already done a fundraiser for the families, but they did. So yeah, there's already.
Yeah. The fundraiser, that was absolutely phenomenal. You know, to raise. What was the final figure? Over $8,000. You know, they were looking for 6,000 within less than 24 hours, and then it goes beyond that. And as you say, it's like, you know, you don't want the family being burdened with that kind of stuff.
And those I'll get your pictures to you.
Yeah,
I'm getting back at the emails, so I'm trying.
I've just seen a message here. Well, two messages here. So there's a whole load of messages. There's Sharon, there's David Cornea, thank David. There's Drama, there's Heather Lodge, Dark Side of the Moon, Susan Lee, and there's
a lot of people showed up.
There was one I was going to click on, and it's just shot up there. Hold on a sec. Let's see if I can find it. No, it's gone. Where's it gone?
Can I just say while you're looking for the message, Paul?
Yes.
For anyone who's interested in the snooker.
Oh,
go on.
The what?
Ronnie made it through. Ronnie made it through to the finals.
Never against Wilson.
Of Karen Wilson, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so excited for that tomorrow. I'm off work tomorrow as well.
Yeah, I tell you that Mark Selby, he is one hell of a good player because he kind of like messes, doesn't he, with Ronnie O'Sullivan's game. He just knows exactly what he's doing.
Ronnie came on form tonight, though. I caught a few of the rounds before I was getting ready for this. But yeah.
Don't think he's not going to mess with you. I know he's going to mess with me. Do you know what the we've got a thing, a plaque up in the house. It says it's to do with the fact that robins appear when loved ones are near.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that one before? Robins appear when loved ones are near.
Yeah.
Meaning, you know.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. And my wife's gone and got this tattoo of a robin, and I just know he's going to mess with me. He is definitely going to mess with me. That is definitely part of this plan.
Well, we want to hear all about it when he does.
Yeah, I bet you do. Yeah.
Well, you make sure you tell Eunice we said hello. So
yeah. Listen, guys, that's. You've survived over 2 hours. I mean, you know, it seems to have gone like in about 30 minutes.
It does.
Yeah. It is what it is. You know, the dude is gone, but like I said before, if anybody, not that anybody does, but if everyone wanted to doubt the strength of the community, but if anybody wanted to see the strength of this community, just check out all the videos out there, all the tributes. I mean, you know, I'm inundated with messages, emails, etc. And you know, I will eventually get around to trying to answer everybody, but you know, it's just absolutely phenomenal.
Well, we know how close you were to Paul, how close you were. And
he valued everybody equally. Trust me, it was very much a case of you know, we're all in this together. I'm very fortunate, very blessed that I got the chance to spend time with him, as obviously you and I did, Linda, up in Manitrock. I must admit, one of the saddest things I ever realised was the fact that Mark and the dude had asked me to come to Manitowoc the year before, and I wasn't able to because of the fact that I'd got a gig. And I got a video from the dude on the Sunday, and it was just so heartfelt. You know, it was basically, I wish you were here. And I thought, that's, you know, that is so nice, because you know, that's, you know, is, you know, I wish you were here. You know, you know, and it was, you should have been here. You should have been here. You know, it would have been absolutely brilliant. You know, and one of the things we were going to do was go around the Budweiser brewery, because they do a tour of the Budweiser brewery. But you know, we went over to Eagle Nation site. You know, and that was awesome. That was awesome. He gave me his GoPro to operate. Granted, every 10 minutes he would come across and say, "Make sure you press that button regularly. You know, make sure you do this. Make sure you do that. Are you doing this? Okay, yes, dude. Yeah. Make sure you do that. Yeah, okay."
He almost missed his flight for that, didn't he? Almost missed going home on that because he had to go back and record.
No, it was nothing to do with me. It was to do with weather over the Chicago, because they're not used to weather anywhere else in the country. You know, but.
I do have to say goodnight because puppy is so potty.
You better.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. I'm going to say cheerio, ladies. It's absolutely great. And also, I would like to thank everybody that's joined in on the chat, and I do apologize if we've not managed to mention everybody, and I do apologize if we've not managed to mention every video that was done. And do you know what? There's probably videos out there that we haven't watched.
I'm sure there is.
You know, you know, I'm sure. You know, I'm sure I've missed I've missed stuff that's been sent to various people, but yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for. I mean, I know that as I say, it's a case of all the supporters. He loved everyone. It was
Everyone.
yeah. Why you had to go so soon, I don't know. I suppose there's some method in there somewhere. I've not got it yet, but maybe in the fullness of time we'll know what
We'll meet again. You know
what's been designed for him. You know, but, I say I was just really glad I managed to tell him so many times. You're awesome, and you're a great guy.
I'm glad I got to thank him, and I did.
Yeah, and the fact that you guys are here, it just shows that. Right, okay, enough havering from me. I'm going to ask you, ladies, please, to finish off in the time traditioned manner. Instead of the "it's goodbye for me, it's goodbye for me, goodbye for me," I would like, ladies, please, for you to do the typical Erekose ending.
If you haven't
and
yet,
if you haven't done so already,
hit subscribe. And like.
See you, folks.
Yeah.
Bye, folks.
Bye.